Alright, this is John Codler with OKRaw.com to have another exciting episode for you, coming at you from a beautiful backyard garden here in January. And you can see all my amazing kale. Harvested a lot of dino kale actually recently from my parents, because I actually heat processed it on up for them and made them some pre-cooked meals, meal prep. I do that for them now so that they can eat healthier. And I want you guys to eat your kale however you could get it in. I prefer to eat it dehydrated, juiced, or raw. And I don't cook my kale, all right? So anyways, this episode is about an episode I made about 6 months ago now, you know, when the heat of the virus was happening, and it talked about how I'm not eating a salad for dinner anymore. And more into that video was about intermittent fasting protocol that I had, you know, conceived for myself, that I shared on YouTube for you guys, and this was the sign I made at the time. My eating window, noon to 8 p.m., eat before 8 p.m. daily, eat when hungry, recommended times, juice around noon, salad meal around 2 to 3, fruit meal evening, let's see, it says grace period 8 to 9, and vegetable juice okay. So my goal was to try to have a 16-hour fasting window and an 8-hour eating window. So I had tried to do that for several months, for about 3 months. I gave it a good solid go because I've been home and I have not been traveling, which has been the biggest challenge during the virus for me, because I socialize when I travel and I visit people, visit friends, visit farms, make videos and do all kinds of stuff. And I've been staying at home. You know, I hope to start traveling soon. So I was trying to implement that, and on my hectic schedule and on the food I eat, I was not able to meet my goals. And they were goals or guidelines. You know, it's not like I failed because you couldn't do it, man. Hey, I gave it my best shot. But more importantly, I learned from attempting to do a basically 8-hour eating window and 16-hour fasting window on my particular diet. Now, if you're on a different diet, you know, throw these sayings and what I'm going to say out the window. This is what I found for my specific diet. You know, I'm sure if you're on a high keto diet and eat lots of fat, you could eat lots of fat in an 8-hour window because you are packing in the calories. You are likely missing phytonutrients during your 8-hour window unless you're getting enough of those. But the way I eat, which is basically I eat fruits and vegetables, is what I eat. And I'm not going to say it's impossible. And I could have done it, but it would have been extra work to do it the way I wanted to do it if I wanted to have an 8-hour eating window, just to say I have an 8-hour eating window. Because the challenge is I need a lot of food. I eat a lot of food to get my calories. Say I'm eating 2,000 calories, which I don't really track my calories. I eat until I'm satiated, until I'm hungry, until I feel I don't need to eat anymore. And that's a lot of food. So, for example, you know, 1 tablespoon of oil, if you're doing oil and fats, it's 120 calories. Meanwhile, a pound of kale that I picked out of my garden is literally only like maybe a little bit less than 100 calories. 100 calories on average is a number, round number. You know, so it's like I would need to eat basically 20 pounds of vegetables in 8 hours and then be able to fast for the next 16. And, you know, I don't eat all straight vegetables. To concentrate vegetables, I juice them. So, you know, I've been drinking basically 3 juices a day, like a 4-ounce juice and 2 about 31-ounce juices. And, you know, that'll pack in some calories too. But despite that, it was still difficult to eat the solid whole foods that I would eat in a 8-hour eating window. I'm sure some people on raw that might eat, you know, high fat diets and, you know, pour on olive oil and put in maple syrup and, you know, add in nuts to like every meal, they could probably do it if they want to. You know, in my personal opinion, you know, that's not as good to overeat your fats, because when you overeat any food, whether that's fats, meats, you know, oils, whatever it is, you know, fruits, you could overeat fruits, you're displacing healthier foods that you should be eating. In my opinion, some of the healthiest foods on the planet are my garden, the greens, you know, and other vegetables. I have some amazing broccoli. You can't see it here, heading on up. But I think people are deficient in vegetables, and I try to focus on those because they are shown in science to have more phytonutrients, less calories. So it's basically more nutrition, less calories, and a whole host of them. I mean, this bed, I don't know if you guys can see this bed, but I have all red lettuces. I harvested over like 1 or 2 leaves from every plant, and I had a nice huge salad that I made. I think I posted on IG, so check my IG, you know, for seeing what I'm eating, what I'm up to, what I'm making that day. I do a lot of meal prep. And despite me doing meal prep and having things ready in the fridge to eat or drink, I could not, you know, sustain my 8-hour eating window. It's just too stringent. And for me, it caused too much stress. Like, I got to eat by this time. And then when I was doing that, I was more concerned about like getting food into me than listening to my body. Oh my God, listening to my body is very important. That's why I said right here, eat when hungry, right? We need to listen to our bodies, not like, oh, I got to eat within an 8-hour window, so I'm just going to pound things in. If you're not ready to eat, your body's not ready to accept the food. So I don't recommend doing that. I don't think it's a good thing to do personally, just so that you can achieve this 8-hour eating window, because you're going to get these magical benefits. Not to say that there's not magical benefits from reducing your eating window, because basically the longer you could not eat, it's probably a good thing. But the other thing that I want people to realize is that what are you eating? Some foods are harder to digest and some foods are easier to digest, you know. Something that's really complex, you know, is harder to digest, and something that's simple, like juices, are probably one of the easiest things to digest, so that you guys can have more energy, because your body doesn't have to use the energy to digest it. I mean, after a big Thanksgiving meal, do you feel tired? It's not just the tryptophan in the turkey, but it's all the heavy foods that you just piled in after the holidays, right? And you feel tired, you want to take a nap. Your body has to expel energy. So yes, it's great to expel energy when you're digesting. You want to dispense the minimum amount of energy during digestion. So you want to eat the lightest, and then, you know, I choose to expand my eating window instead of trying to condense it, and I still eat the lightest foods already. So what I do now is, I'll tell you exactly what I do. I wake up, and I think right now it's about 10 a.m. Hopefully this video gets posted today, because I just woke up in the morning earlier and did my routine. And I had like about 1 liter of water, special water I get, and I don't eat. I won't eat because I'm not hungry. Like, why am I going to wake up and just mouth stuff in? And, you know, on some levels, eating late is a good thing because I'm prolonging my fasting period. But on other levels, I might want to like actually move it down, because I tend to eat a little bit later, but then I don't eat at night. But then I don't start eating until later in the day either. So I'm kind of like mismatched. So I would really start like waking up and then maybe waiting a little bit less time and then start eating. But I'm not even eating yet. So anyways, so I wake up, I drink about a 500 milliliter or a liter of water first to stay hydrated. That's very important. I don't just drink water automatically because everybody else does on YouTube. I live in an arid climate, right? As I'm sleeping, water is being pulled out of my skin. I'm dehydrating, you know, as I'm sleeping. So I need to at least minimally replace that water. And if I feel thirsty, then I'm going to drink water. If I'm not thirsty, then I won't drink water. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Most of the time I do. Okay, then I'll go about my day. So I'll work either on the computer, I'll work out in the garden, I'll go run errands, like I'm going to run errands after this video, go shopping, get some organic food, and then when I'm hungry, then I will eat. But I'm not just eating, because I'm not just eating greens or eating fruit, I'm drinking juice. So this is kind of extending my fast, but it's still not fasting because I'm not abstaining from all food and liquids and nutrients. I'll drink juice, so I'll have a 4-ounce turmeric, ginger, ginseng, lemon, and I'll add also rosemary that I grew in my garden this week. I forgot the rosemary. It also has actually MCT oil in there, and for some oil to help get the turmeric, better absorbed, plus black pepper. Then, after I drink that, usually pretty much closely thereafter, 5 or 10 minutes after, sometimes right after, I'll drink a 31-ounce green juice. And the green juice consists of basically a bunch of greens from this garden bed here. I've been juicing. This last round I juiced these guys, which is a white Siberian kale. They have nice thick stems on there, so the stems are really good to juice. They have more minerals than the leaves, which actually are more antioxidant rich. I just spotted some aphids over there. And then it had also 4 heads of celery, let's see, 9 organic romaine hearts and 4 bunches of cilantro. And that's the green juice that I'll drink next. And then after that, then I'm pretty good. Usually at that point, then it's like I'll just work. And usually by that point, I'm out in the garden, totally like working in the garden, enjoying the sun if the day is nice. And then I will wait until I feel thirsty or hungry again, which if I'm getting involved in something, like I don't get hungry. Like it's kind of like weird. Like I don't get hungry, so I don't really like, oh, I got to drink my next thing because I got to be in this window because I want to do this intermittent fasting stuff. I mean, I think that's good, but I also listen to my body. So like, for example, yesterday I didn't even get in from gardening until like 5 or 6. And that's when I finally drank my juice. And then I have my root juice. My root juice consists of mostly orange carrots, as many purple carrots as I could find locally, jicama, beets, and then I have like maybe apples, pineapples. This time I also put horseradish in there. Oh, and red cabbage, very important. I'll also put in purple sweet potato, which I neglected this week, ginger and turmeric again. And that's another basically 31 ounces of juice. And basically 1 cup of juice equals about 1 pound of produce on average. Could be more, could be less, but that's just the average. So literally in my juices, I've already eaten, 8 pounds of produce roughly at that point. And then once I get hungry again, which is, soon thereafter, because after I drink that juice, then that kind of goes through me usually pretty quick, and then I'll eat. So last night I didn't eat dinner, which is basically a 32-ounce mason jar of pre-prepped salad, actually with the red lettuce I talked about, and made basically, I used my dill that's over there, and I made like an amazing like dill with cashew milk that I made fresh with macadamia nuts, onion and garlic powder, some seasoning and vinegar to make like a ranch dressing. It's really good. And then I didn't make enough dressing, so it's kind of like shy on the dressing, lots of the leaves, but I'm good with that. And cut up other vegetables in there, organic tomatoes and whatnot, organic onions, and then I'll eat that. And then after that, then last night, for example, I had like 5 mangoes, and then I had little like 3 cartons of organic blueberries. And that's what I ate yesterday. Every day is a little bit different. The day before I maybe didn't eat the mangoes, and instead I had like another 32 ounce of juice later in the evening. So through my eating window thing, I have moved up my salad meal. My goal is to not eat a salad for dinner, but to have the heavier meal earlier in the day, and then to eat fruits more in the evening because they're going to digest easier than a salad meal with a lot of with some nuts and some fat in there. So I have been successful for the most part at doing that. Although I think I still I would like to eat a little bit earlier, because the thing is I'll maybe eat a little bit later and then I'll stay up later so that I'm not going to bed right after I'm done eating. And then I end up going to bed late and then waking up the next day. So, that's just what it is. So at present time, here's the thing. I have a 12-hour fasting window. So I have 12 eating and 12 not eating. And with the way I'm doing it now, it's completely doable for me easily. My goal every day is to just not eat for 12 hours instead of, and then it's much less stressful for me because that is easily achievable with what I'm doing, and that's what I might recommend. And actually, if you look into this is actually called the longevity diet for adults. So while it's not like an FMD fasting mimicking diet, because you would need to eat more fats, which I'm not, about to do, but I'm doing a diet similar to the longevity diet for adults, which is Walter Longo, I guess a researcher in California that talks about fasting mimicking diet, and he's done a lot of studies around fasting and the benefits of fasting and all this stuff. So basically he recommends, a lot of the things, he says, eat mostly vegan plus a little fish. Limiting meals with fish to a maximum of 2 to 3 per week. So personally, I don't eat any fish. I don't eat any animal meats or their excrements. But I do take EPA and DHA supplements on occasion, although I do usually eat flax seeds every day. Very important to get your proper omega-3 to 6 balance. And then I keep my protein intake low because I'm not like supplementing protein. I'm just getting protein from my plants. And then number 3 is minimize saturated fats from animals and vegetable sources. So I don't eat a lot of saturated fats at all. Maybe some coconut once in a while. And then he says, eat generous amounts of olive oil, which I don't do, although I snacked on whole olives, which have some oil in it, but also other polyphenols and nutrients from the olives. And these are live olives, alive and well olives. And then I do have small amounts of nuts, as he says 1 ounce per day, like in my salad. I might do, I do a handful or two, which is about a similar amount, but very low. And then it says, follow a diet with high vitamin mineral content, supplemented with a multivitamin buffer every 3 days. So I don't take a multivitamin buffer, but I take a diet that is high in vitamin and mineral content. I mean, this is why I grow my own food. There's nothing healthier than growing your own food in supplemented soil that has the minerals in there so that they could be in the plants. Last night, actually, I sprayed on phytoplankton from Canada with over 80 different species of phytoplankton onto my plants to foil or feed them, and they've perked up, and they will absorb the nutrients from the phytoplankton, which are also sea minerals in there, and they will respond by, being healthier, and also they're going to have them in there for me. So I don't think I need, I'm not taking a mineral supplement. Well, there's a few, I take zinc maybe sometimes. But basically I try to have a well-rounded diet so I don't need supplementation is my goal. If you're interested, I may have a video on how my diet has changed since the virus and the supplements I started taking. Let me know in the comments below, and I will make a video on that topic because I've been thinking about that. And it says, this is an interesting one. Select ingredients among those discussed in this book that your ancestors would have eaten. So that's something that's not really talked about a lot, right? So, half my ancestry is from Germany, and half my ancestry is from China or Europe. So I'm German, English, Dutch, and half Chinese. So, Chinese maybe ate more like plant-based and not a lot of meat. So I am eating plants like them. I'm not Scandinavian, so I'm not doing like dairy, and I didn't, grow up in Iceland where you probably eat a lot of fish. I think there's something to eating what your ancestors ate to some extent, although you could tweak it, not like, I'm from, Alaska, so I need to eat meat, right? I definitely, everybody needs to figure out their own thing, and then there's a whole vegan, ethics and morality about your diet and all that, so that's up for you. I'm not going to talk about that. But that's an interesting point. So I strive to eat, like foods that my ancestors would have eaten to a pretty good extent, and I am lactose intolerant. And it says, based on your weight, age, and abdominal circumference, decide whether to have 2 or 3 meals a day. So, I don't know what you consider a meal. I have 2 main eating meals, which is basically a fruit meal and a vegetable meal, and then I have my juices, which, I don't know, are those meals? I call them juices, because juices are an easy way to transition from not eating into eating for me, and they're the easiest to absorb. So that's kind of like an extra bonus step, in my opinion, towards fasting, because it's a lot easier. It's the easiest food to digest, actually. And then it says, confine all eating to within a 12-hour period. For example, start at 8 a.m. and end before 8 p.m. Don't eat anything within 3 to 4 hours of bedtime. And so I have been able to easily meet that with my current scheme and plan. I haven't always eaten this way due to the virus and being at home a lot. I've really ramped up my game because it's important to have the highest quality immune system. And I've done this by, drinking half my diet in juices, including more vegetables in my diet, reducing the amount of fruits. I still eat fruits, still love fruits. Fruits are great, hey. But I really want you guys to eat your vegetables. I really want you guys to get your juices in you because it concentrates the nutrients and it allows you to get greater uptakes of carotenoids as proven by science, in breast cancer survivors who ate carrots whole or juiced them. The people that juiced them in the study had like twice as much beta carotene in their bloods than the people that ate them whole. So like, juicing's bad, it removes fiber. Well, yes, a fiber can be a hindrance to absorption of some nutrients. And if you check down below, I made a video on my other channel, Raw Foods or Discount Juicers channel, where I talk about juice has fiber. But that's you have to check that video for that. Juice has fiber and juice has lots of benefits, and I want you guys to drink some juice as an easy transition from fasting from when you're sleeping at night. That's what I do, and I think that's definitely a good thing to do for sure. Also, I want you guys to reduce your eating window, increase your vegetables, and that's all I got to say about that, The one thing I will say, put out there publicly, I am not perfect. So don't think I'm perfect. Don't put me on a pedestal. I'm going through life like everybody else. Because of the COVID, it's been a bit more stressful. I do emotionally eat sometimes at the end of the night, and it's not like the worst stuff. I might have some dried fruit or dried fruit with nuts, maybe some, banana sorbet or ice cream. I got to start making that again. It's been kind of cold, and that's what I really need to cut out. If I need to cut out one thing, I'm telling you guys, that is what is it. But I think it's because I'm not feeling a connection, so I'm like emotionally eating. And this didn't really happen to this extent. And if you notice, I put on a little bit of weight, but I'm also losing it because I'm trying to keep that under control. That's exactly why, because I eat, late at night, some extra calories that I probably don't need for comfort food. And I'm still working with those issues myself. So, it's all right. You are where you're at. Don't think you're good or bad, right or wrong. Just know that you are on a journey, and that you just, number one, have awareness. So number one, I've noticed I have a situation. And number two, I'm working on correcting the situation by getting and fostering better connections in my life. I'm pretty much an introverted kind of person. I don't have a lot of close friends, so that would be good to maybe get a few more friends, which I'm working on slowly, but it's difficult to find somebody that's really into what I'm doing, like gardening and staying fit and healthy and eating healthy, because honestly, most people don't care. So you are one of the select few. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this episode, hey, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Also, leave your comments down below on what you think of my new 12-hour eating, 12-hour fasting window, and share with what you're doing. Are you doing it in 16-8 to 12-12? Or are you eating 24 hours a day and fasting 8? I don't know. And your diet, I'm just kind of curious to know what everybody does. And also, I want to know, how has my videos affected you for the positive? Have you made changes, even small ones, because of my videos? Am I making a difference in the world? Should I continue making my videos? I always wonder. Man, a lot of my life is just making videos and sharing this with people so that they could improve their health, and I hope it is helping people. I believe it is, and I get testimonials every once in a while, and that's just what it is. So I'm glad I could help people with through my experiences, sharing what I've learned over the many years that I've been eating a raw, plant-based, fruit and vegetable-dominated diet. Also, be sure to share this video with somebody else that it may help, especially if they're eating a high vegetable-based, diet and trying to do the intermittent fasting. This may be of some assistance to them to dial in their diet even better. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you can be made aware of my new videos I have coming out about every 5 to 7 days, and make sure you click the bell so you get notified as the new videos come out. And finally, be sure to check my past episodes. My past episodes are wealth of knowledge. Over 500 episodes at this time on this YouTube channel dedicated to teach you guys all about how to eat one of the healthiest diets on the earth, which is rich in fresh fruits and fresh vegetables so that you guys can maintain and get better health. So with that, my name is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. We'll see you next time, and until then, remember, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables. They're always the best.